Hello, everyone. Welcome to Career Theory. We are back with another episode. For this time, I am your host, Bharat Ramesh, with my fellow co host, Sai Chintala, because he's on a wonderful road trip for the last 2 weeks, and I wanted to host this one specifically for the same reason. So, we have had several powerful guests who shared an extraordinary journey with us in their careers. Today, we have Sam Kamani. He will be joining us shortly, and we are going to spend a lot of quality time talking about how we can elevate our career from his extraordinary journey. Hey, Sai.
Hey, Sam. Hey, Bharat. Thank you so much for the introduction. And Sam, we're so glad to have you here for this podcast. And it's been a wonderful journey for us so far with the career and the career theory. And thank you so much for joining us from New Zealand. There is a time difference and all of that, but thank you so much for taking time and joining us. Right,
No,
back to you,
thank
Bharat.
you. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you for the wonderful welcome. I'm so excited to be talking with you guys.
Absolutely. So, to introduce, Sam is a technology futurist who predicts the opportunities and the risks of new technology. Sam is the founder and host of Web3 with Sam Kamani, which is a very popular podcast and ranked as top 20 Web3 podcasts and also top 20 web podcasts globally. In this podcast, Sam talks about all the opportunities and problems in the world of NFTs, metaverse, DeFi, blockchain, gaming, AI, crypto, virtual reality, and all things Web3. Sam is also Chief Web3 Strategist for Moonstream.2. Sam is currently helping grow Moonstream, a company making building blocks for blockchain games. Since launching in October, the Moonstream platform has processed over $3 billion in transaction volume. Prior to working in blockchain, Sam has over 15 years of experience in building and growing startups with 2 exits under his belt. Sam is also the author of the highly acclaimed The 30-Day Startup, which is one of the best sellers in Amazon and considered top 20 in the web technology area. So, Sam, also, I wanted you all to know that Sai already revealed it, but Sam is currently in Auckland, New Zealand with his wife and 3 amazing sons. Hey, Sam, thank you so much for taking this opportunity and being with us today.
Thank you. Thank you for such a wonderful welcome and my such a wonderful intro. Look, I'm really excited to be talking with you guys and talking about my journey and all that. So yeah.
Absolutely. I think that's where we want to start, to be honest. We wanted to know for our audience, like, how was your journey with your career and in general in your personal life so that we can dig more?
Absolutely. Yes. I came to New Zealand back in the days in like 2002. This is 20 years ago as an international student, as an immigrant, and came on my own to study. But after studying back in those days, I found it was a completely different era, completely different time when there wasn't a job shortage around the world as we are facing right now, so it was very interesting time. And after finishing your study, you had to go back to your country unless you are one of the few ones who can find a job and find residency through those means. And as some of you might be aware, like in most Western countries, even in US, it's like you need an H-1B visa to get a job, and to get a job or to get H-1B you need a job. So it's like kind of a circle thing. It's very hard to break out of that. And so I did all sorts of random jobs early in my career while continuing to help businesses, to help people, to continuing to build networks. And it was eventually my ability to build networks, ability to build relationships that helped me in starting sort of my first business, or getting into my sort of first business, which was in the e-commerce space. And something that comes back to back to looking at the trends, looking at what future technology is doing, I was using in 2004, I was using Google AdWords, and that's how I managed to help a couple of businesses grow online. And that was a really big meta trend that people weren't able to see 18 years ago. 18 years ago, the Google AdWords product was brand new, and most people didn't realize the power that would have. And most people were laughing at me that you should be putting an ad in the yellow pages and doing things like that, or doing TV ads and radio ads, not doing this. No one's heard of Google AdWords 18 years ago.
Yeah.
But I could see that how this would completely change the business world. And it so did. And it built pretty much most of Google's revenue, even to this day, after 20 years or 19 years of running that product,
Wow.
comes from just Google AdWords. It's like everything else they do, it's their revenue from all the other sources is just peanuts. Then you compare like their revenue from whether it's Gmail or any of their other products, it's insignificant when it compares to search. Search has been their bread and butter. And the same thing I can see now again when it comes to blockchain or Web3 sort of technologies, and how it's going to be that fundamental shift. So once again, I wanted to be at the cusp of it, at the start of it, and not adopted 10 years later when the market is crowded. Yep.
That's a powerful share. Yeah, I think a lot of people don't realize how important the Google AdWords were in the past, for sure. And I'm curious, like, what made you choose New Zealand as your educational journey, or
Yes.
why New Zealand? Why you wanted to go to New Zealand and start your career?
Yeah, that's a very interesting question. And I did actually consider US because a lot of my classmates from India, after completing their computer science degree, they went to US or UK or Canada or Australia. And it was just so happened that at that stage, back then, 20 years ago, education in New Zealand was way, way cheaper, 5 to 8 times cheaper than US. That was
Okay.
one of the things I saw. Then also, but I have worked in Bay Area as well for a short time and all that. But the thing is
Yeah,
that
yeah.
once you are established in any of the developing countries, you have a different country passport. It is much easier to travel compared to Indian passport or a passport from a developing country, because most of the developed
Absolutely.
countries have some sort of a visa deal in
Yes.
between them, or a
Yes.
visa free sort of a status, just so now I can go and work in Australia whenever I want, live in Australia whenever I want. So those sort of things, I knew that I will have a lot more mobility. And that's why initially I chose New Zealand. But there are certain disadvantages of being in New Zealand. Yes, it is peaceful compared to some other countries and all that, but the disadvantage is that it is very far, and traveling anywhere takes a very long time. There is a direct flight from New Zealand to LA or San Francisco or Vancouver to the west coast of US, and that's like the closest, and that's
Yes.
12 hours, because
From
anywhere you go, you have to go from the southern hemisphere to the northern hemisphere. So that
correct.
adds first a flight of 12 hours to going to anywhere, and then internal flights and stuff. So it's very far, and it really adds to the time and expense of.
Yes.
So like I do still go and speak at conferences, events. So next week I'm speaking at a couple of events in LA, and so I'm
Wow.
traveling to LA
Wow.
for a week. There's the NFT Expovers conference in Web3, some sort of a Web3 event. So I'm attending 2 events in LA, but then once again, it really adds to the time.
No, it
Yeah.
sounds amazing.
Sounds- Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
With that, Sam, if I can
Yes.
ask you one question about your ability, because based on what you describe, it looks like you are always able to see the future ahead of time, such as like in this case, you are able to see the AdWords 15 years ahead of time than the rest of the world is able to see it. Now, which specific skill, or how do you have that skill to see the future ahead of time? Right now, you are in Web 3.0, which is like a far advanced thing. But how you are able to see it? What kind of skills that someone should have to really see that future?
I'll give you a small answer and a long answer. The short answer is that the easiest thing, this is the hack that most people see, whether it is Gary Vee or anyone, this is the hack that they use to see what the future would be. And he's done the same. He has used enterprise attention every time, and this is how he's able to predict as well. See what young people are using, see what they are growing up with. And so say if all the young people are using a certain social media channel, then they're going to grow old with it, and they are going to become the consumers of tomorrow who would have the spending power of tomorrow. That is the key in short. But what happens is most marketers, most company founders, business owners, they ignore that segment, because to them 12 to 16-year-olds or 10 to 18-year-olds are not interesting. They have no spending power. They have no say in any consumer purchase decisions or anything. They think it is only for fun that the media that they are using, whatever social media that might be. There could be newspapers, could be, doesn't matter, whatever, because in different ages they use different, in different eras they have used different social media. Could be Twitter, Snapchat, doesn't matter. Whatever they are using, they think it's just for fun, it's for dancing, it's for music, it's for games, it's for whatever. It doesn't matter. But the thing is that these people are going to become your consumer in 10 years time. They're going to be in their mid to late 20s doing high-end jobs, and then you would have had no relationship over that, and then you will want to get into that market. It's going to be so overcrowded, so overpriced, you'll have no competitive advantage. So it's, if 3 years ago, if you ask me, or 2 years ago, I could see the rise of TikTok. And now TikTok is not only replacing other things like whether it's Snapchat or whatever, or Instagram or whatever, TikTok is posing a real threat when it comes to search to Google. 40% of Gen Zs use TikTok to search first instead of Google. Because when you search in Google, the first 5 things are taken up by paid searches and stuff, and it's not authentic. Same problem with Instagram. It is not authentic. It is very Photoshop crafted image. Whereas on TikTok, people are authentic. People are being themselves. Celebrities are not that welcome. They can't break into it. Brands cannot break into it that easily on TikTok. So people want to search how to fix something or how to cook something or all that. People go and search on TikTok, and now TikTok even gives you, if you're watching a video on something, they're talking about something, it even gives you pre-filled search field that search for this, and you just click on it, autofill. If you're seeing a recipe, you can go and order all the ingredients used in the recipe straight from Instacart by one click. So it is going to completely eat everyone's lunch. It's like, it's so new already. Its revenue is more than Twitter and Snapchat combined. And it's not even got started. They haven't even started monetizing it. They already have, people spend more time on TikTok than Facebook, WhatsApp, and Instagram combined. So and to consider that TikTok is not even allowed in India, which is like a massive market. That was their biggest market. If it was allowed in India, it would be pretty much, it would have more than most other channels combined, because their algorithm is so amazing. And that is one thing that I've seen Google's leadership, they have always wanted to do, is Google always wanted to, the meta sort of thing is for them was to come up with a system where you don't even have to predict, or it gives you the answer before you even think. So that's the stage where Google wanted to always go. So they have always tried to go down that way. They have not been yet successful, but TikTok has been successful. It's like, it doesn't matter who you follow on TikTok. It will only show you on your For You page things that the algorithm thinks are right for you, and the algorithm is next level. It just knows what you'd be interested in, and it just shows you that. So that's where I see the sort of the rise of TikTok. And on the commercial side, I could see over the last 5 years the rise of LinkedIn. But then LinkedIn, as I still feel, it's a bit more old school, and it is ripe for disruption. I don't know who will disrupt it, but it will be disrupted in the next 3 to 4 years.
Well, that's a prediction. That's a really good
prediction. That's a prediction. But currently, if you want to use for work, LinkedIn is supreme, pretty much. You want to connect with anyone in the world, LinkedIn is the way to go. But you can build your network crazy.
But for me, let me go back to the same question. Based on the answer, one of the skill where you're able to see the future is you're looking at what the
Young
youngsters are
people.
using.
Yes.
That is one thing. But other than that, are there any other things that you would leverage on to really see what is going to be the future looks like?
Yes, absolutely. Yes. And that is the amount of engagement. That is the other thing that I see. So it's not only important to have a large number of people signed up to a platform, but how much time they are spending, how sticky that product is. If people are using it all the time, then that is totally worth looking into. I'll give you a couple of examples. First example is once again of TikTok, and that is that their average user is, I think, something like a 35-year-old female. It's not a kid anymore because they have grown up now in the last 5 years,
Mm,
and the older users adopt later on. But the thing is that there's people spend more time on TikTok now than on YouTube or Netflix. So that means that the product is really sticky, the engagement is really high. What happens is that a lot of people, founders who have just launched a product, they sometimes raise a lot of money, they spend a lot of money on advertising, they get a lot of users, but then those users don't use the product. They just leave.
mm,
So if you look at the numbers that, oh, they have this many people on the platform, or whatever the number might be, whether it's Twitter or whoever, like millions and millions of people on the platform, but are they coming back? Are they spending time on it? Are they using it? One of the product that this happened was Clubhouse, or now we can say Twitter
yes.
Spaces. People, when they go in, they really stick around because they are waiting for their turn to speak, or whatever, or they're
Correct.
feeling like they're the FOMO, they're going to
Yeah.
miss out. So I see that as a product that is going to stick around, like Twitter Spaces, which has pretty much replaced Clubhouse, but that is a product inside the company Twitter. Yeah, I do see it sticking around. So that is another thing to see, that yeah,
Mm.
how much people are engaging with it.
Hmm.
Awesome. No, I definitely love the whole conversation. But one thing I was also, this is a contradictory
Yes.
question, which is, do you see also the risks with the new technology that could affect everyone or young generation or any kind of technology disruption that would happen? So
Oh,
yeah.
yes, yes, absolutely. I don't know if you guys remember when the email was new back in late 90s, it used to be filled with spam, the Nigerian
Yes.
prince and all the
Yes.
scams and everything. And over time, the filters got better. If you use Gmail now, they're really good. The filters, they filter out
Mm,
all the spam. So spam is still being generated at the same level, but then, and also people got more used to it. When the email was completely new, people used to get excited when they used to get one email that, oh, I got an email, because it was so new back in 1990s. Now it's not the case. So then people were more gullible as well. And
mm,
same thing, I see that happening in Web3, because everything is so new. There's only maybe 2 million people in the world who are engaging with all this stuff,
mm,
and no one still knows how to use it well and stuff. So then people are more gullible because they don't know if it's real or not. And there, any new platform, like any new, like Wild West thing, Wild West, there's a
mm.
lot of bad actors initially. So that is the case with any new technology, and there always will be.
So what you're
Yes.
saying is, to reiterate, what you're saying is with any new technology, whether it is an email or a Facebook or a Twitter or some
Yes.
metaverse in the future,
Yes.
in the beginning, people would be so exposed to it, but eventually over a
Yes.
period of time, the guards will be built around it. Just like the email filter
Yes.
is an example. At the beginning, there could be a
Yes.
lot of spam. With as time progressing, the guards are built around it so that it is protecting the person. But however, with the
Yes.
new technology, the risks that you talked about, like overexposing or overstimulation, could be
Yes.
a potential risk at the beginning, but over a period of time, that is
Yeah, people
controlled.
learn how to use it as well. And also this brings us to like opportunity, so that
Mm,
when there are problems, that means those are opportunities that other
Mhm.
tech startup founders can fix, or
mm.
new tech startup founders can fix. That means there
Yes.
is an opportunity for you. If more people are getting ripped off in buying NFT, maybe you can create a platform where that doesn't happen. And over time, when you have a proven track record and you can show people that, okay, this doesn't happen on our platform, then you will gain more traction. Or you could have a system where people can get things verified by connecting an API. I'm just throwing ideas out there.
Yes.
But
Those are brilliant ideas. In fact, those are
Yes.
really ideas
yes.
that make us think, wow, this is possible, this is not possible. Yeah, this is when there is a problem, there is always an opportunity
Exactly. You
standing
can
next
see
to
it.
it.
Yeah. Yeah. You can see that. Oh, I think that was the whole example of someone went to this like a native tribeland to see if they will buy like Bata shoes. And they came back and said, so they sent two representatives, and one said that, oh, sorry, no one wears their shoes. So there's no market for us. And then the other guy came back and said, oh, the no one wears shoes. This is a fantastic market for us. We can sell to everyone without competition. So the same
Yes,
thing, you can see it as a problem, or you can see it as an to fix
opportunity.
those problems. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Absolutely. And yeah, I know you talk a lot about Web 3.0 within your podcast as well, which is really a famous one. We wanted to learn more about what all are the topics that you cover on the podcast, and also what kind of guests you are more inclined towards within your area. So just to see how it can help our audience and our family who is really interested in learning more about it, because I'm sure
Yes.
we are asking just the 1% of what you have. There is a lot more to it. So,
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Yes. So I do covering topics around technology. So most of the people I interview
mhm,
are like tech founders themselves. I think the last one I interviewed, he is building a company where, say,
mhm,
you own an NFT that is quite expensive or that has gone up in value. But then how do you use it? What do you do with that wealth apart from just selling it?
mhm,
So what they are doing is they're creating like an agency where they would where you can use that as a security, just like a house that you use for,
Mm.
and get a loan against it, against 40% value of it for a small interest. So they're just like a bank. They will collect that interest, and they have for security that NFT. If you don't pay, they will
mhm.
sell that NFT in the open market and recover their loan value. So there are so many new
Use
models that are
cases.
going
Yeah.
to use cases, and they're going to come out with. Once again, you could have seen that as a problem, as a criticism, that okay, you bought
Yes.
this NFT, what do you do with it? You can't use
Yes.
it. But then someone else saw, people are not able to use it, let me create a use case around it that people can now use all this wealth that they have got stuck in a digital asset. I interview, that's just example of one person. I've interviewed like 40 plus people of like that. um
Mhm,
some of them I have published episodes, some not. The other people I interview is investors, just to see what sort of
mhm.
companies that they are investing in. And that is my signal as well, where how I
Yes.
see another one coming back to that is
Yes.
where the technology is being built. The number three, I think I'll like to go back and I like to give one more example of
Mhm,
how
mhm.
to know
Yes.
where the technology is moving or how to invest in it. And that is that this is, you see where the concentration of developers are going, what the developers are talking about, and what sort of ventures are getting funded. So
Mhm,
a lot of VC firms, the good ones, they do a lot of research on, because they are investing their money. So they do research and where they see the potential for success. If a lot of investment money is into flowing in one direction, a lot of developers are moving into that direction, that means a lot more new products will be developed in that area. So that is definitely a place to
mhm.
investigate. So if you want to see, okay, there's 10,000 different blockchains, or I don't know, I'm just throwing up a
Yes.
number, but there are 10,000 different blockchains, and which one should you invest in? Which one should you spend time learning about, or however you want to go about? The number one thing to see is, okay, where are all the developers? What programming language do the developers are using? Are they using Solidity? Are they using Rust? Are they using Haskell? Are they using something else? So that way you know where the world is moving towards, and that is a signal of where the products are going to come from, because all these developers are going to products in the next 3 years, or 2 to 3 years, 2 to 5 years, and then you want your product to be able to integrate with those. So this is one way to pick your direction on what you should be learning, where you should be investing your money, and all that, like a foolproof way. And this has a historic sort of an example, is for centuries or for millennia, the center of civilizations used to be cities, which would attract the best talent from all over. So whether it was Athens or Rome or Constantinople, or all the most educated people will congregate there and exchange ideas and work together. Or New York when it came to finance in the from 1950 to 1990 kind of a thing. So it's the same thing. So you see where people are getting collected, and that's still answering your first
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
question pretty
yeah.
much.
Yeah, absolutely. That answers the first question. But with that, for our
Yes.
audience, say for example, you have given a wealth of information so far, but for our audience who is
Yeah.
listening to this podcast, who really wanted to, okay, I got excited now from Sam. Now I wanted to see where the developers are, or I wanted to
Yes.
see where the investment is flowing through, and how should they start researching? Is there a website, or is there a place that they should
I
go
think
to,
the
or
podcast.
I'm biased, so I would say
Yeah,
podcast, but there are other ways. I'll
yeah,
give you some
uh,
concrete examples and stuff. So yeah, of course, I'd say go and check out Web3 with Sam. Just
yes.
search that on Spotify or anywhere, and you'll find it. But there are lots of different ways. Is that it comes down to, first of all, is looking at what you are interested in. Are you there? There are a few different ways to go about. Are you interested on the software development side? Then there is a different channel. Are you interested on the marketing, business growth, all that side of things? If you are oriented that way, or you are interested in the design, art world and stuff, because there is a particular channel that you would want to go towards. And the best way to get started, a best way to learn is by doing. That's what I have found, and that is to join a project. So nearly every project in the Web3 space has a Discord where the community lives, where the founder, you can connect, talk directly with the founder in their Discord. Go to the Discord, go to any project that you like, their Discord, start talking with their moderator there and say, look, I want to help out. And then share your skills that you have, either technical skills like programming, you have web design skills, you have graphic whatever skills you might have. Say, I want to help out. If you don't have any skills, become a like not any skills as in like any technical skills, then say, I want to become a moderator, I want to help out, and I want to just see help and start doing that, because that is like fairly easy thing to get involved in, and then learn from there, because learning by doing will teach you a lot more. Just once you start a job, your job teaches you so much more that the university didn't teach you. I'm sure you would have
absolutely.
experienced that.
Yes,
Oh yeah,
yes.
absolutely.
And in this space, people are very open to collaborating, very open to working
Supporting
with.
each other. Yeah.
Yeah, so you can consider this as an unpaid internship, but once you get involved, you will find direction through that.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, just to make sure everyone heard it right, it's Discord where you can pretty much go add yourself to different kinds of channels and learn from all the individuals and experts. And yeah, I also wanted to touch on two things,
Yes.
Sam, because you talked about your podcast where you cover a lot of important topics. And two topics which are really trending are NFTs and
Yes.
metaverse. For someone who doesn't understand where to start or what it is, do you have a simple way that you could share in both the scenarios?
Yeah, sure. So I'll start first with the NFT side of things. And NFT means non-fungible token. So what is fungible and what is non-fungible? So fungible means it's not unique. It can be kind of exchange. So let's say you have a car, maybe Honda Accord, and then Bharat, you borrow the Honda Accord for a couple of days. You're in the same town. And after a couple of days, you've used 10 gallons of fuel. You return it back. You top it up with 10 gallons of fuel. Not a problem. So I wouldn't mind, because the fuel in that case is fungible. But if it is a 3-year-old Honda Accord, if for some reason, Bharat, you go and and crash that Honda Accord and then just go to a car dealer and get another 3-year-old Honda Accord type car and return it, it's not the same, because it's non-fungible, because it had a
Yes.
unique license plate, it had unique probably memories that you had created in that car. You cannot do that in most cases. It's not that simple. So it's the same thing. This is a non-fungible digital asset. And then the token, so non-fungible token, the token side is just like each car has a unique sort of a number plate, or so you can say that this is a unique token number that only your digital asset has and no other digital asset has. And with that, it can be tracked that who owned, just like a car, who owned it before, who you sold it to, and all the details of that person, or that sort of details. So it gives a unique qualities that didn't used to exist before. For example, like you bought an art could be made into a replica. There was no way, like this is, I'm talking about physical art. There's no way for most people normally to find out who made it, or which one is real and all that. But now with NFTs, because they have a unique digital token number, you can see where it was generated, by which wallet it was generated. So you can see the original creator. And not only that, it is on the digital form, so it is much easier to transport, to send to each other, to exchange. And that is
Sam, we are
Sam,
not able.
we
Oh,
yes.
oh,
There
oh,
was a
sorry,
back.
small
sorry.
disconnect for a few minutes,
Yes,
but we can go back. Yeah, you were
we can go
talking.
back to,
Yeah.
yeah. So I don't know where it disconnected.
So
Maybe
it
just,
was just like few seconds with
Yeah,
respect to
yes.
the
maybe last 20 seconds, not more than
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. So yes, so just like how with the physical world, now we have this facility in the digital world, and it is much easier to transfer that ownership, to verify that ownership, and see whoever owned it before and all that sort of thing. Not only that, it allows, I'm just giving an example from the art side. This could apply to any sort of thing, which I'll go into later when I talk about metaverse. But not only you can transfer the ownership, but also as a creator, you can set a cut or a commission that every time someone sells that art, you get 5%, 10%, or whatever you have set it. Previously, it
Mm,
didn't used to be that. Previously, once you sold your art, that's it. And then it appreciates in value. You don't see any benefit of it. But
mm,
now with NFTs, that thing changes. And it's allowing that for digital assets, which makes it so much easy to trade them and transfer them, and hence the sudden sort of a growth. But it's not only limited to art, it's also, the key word here is access. Because if
Mm,
you have a certain NFT, it can
mm,
give you access to certain events, certain communities, and that adds a lot more utility to the NFTs. The reason why Gary Vee made $90 million in 90 days, because
mm.
for him, he made that you can go to the VCon or his conference only if you
If
own
you
the
have,
NFT. Yes, if you
yes,
have the NFT. So that gave immediate utility. So people know that you can go to events, you can
mm,
connect with like-minded people, or you can jump on a Zoom call with him. So which
yes,
was a value that people could no longer get in any other way. Same thing that Dallas Mavericks did with their NFTs, that you get special courtside tickets or something, or free
yes,
upgrades, VIP upgrades and stuff that you don't
yeah.
get otherwise unless you own. So they gave their first 100 NFTs for free, and then
Mm.
they only make money from secondary sales. So then those NFT values blew
Automatically,
up in price, and
yeah.
then people wanted to buy off and then from each other. And so there are lots of new different models that are going to come around with NFTs, that you will
Wow.
see most brands are going to engage in it because of the access that you can attach to it.
Yeah.
with that,
Now,
yeah,
yes, talking about
next,
metaverse.
absolutely.
So basically, metaverse is just, my definition of metaverse might be slightly different. So I consider even things like Minecraft or things, it's its own world, like a digital world. The difference why now is because of the rise in VR technology, also with the rise of blockchain. Not only you can have this sort of digital world, you can assign each and every piece of land or each and every piece of block in that digital world like a token number, and create it into an NFT, and then you can facilitate
Oh.
like a virtual real estate. And this, all these things were not possible. The other thing that is possible is that you can take your character from one of these metaverses or one
Mm.
of these sort of virtual worlds to another. So you can be in Decentraland, you can take your character out and go to Sandbox or another sort of an virtual world. So
Wow.
yeah.
Absolutely.
A lot of, for sure, connecting dots between NFT metaverse itself is a big thing for the next generation.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And you can have your characters in that, and you can sell clothes for it, and you can sell shoes for it, and in all digital NFTs that people can buy and trade and exchange and things like that. So we always had game worlds where people would take part in, but they were centralized. Now with NFTs, they are decentralized, and you can go from one to another. As well as you can take them out and then sell them on a marketplace like
OpenSea.
Now, with the current trend of NFTs and the metaverse, and with the amount of knowledge talking to different
yes.
people, how many years do we have before these things really comes into our real life? Like right now, people might be talking about it. The news media might
Yes.
be, a news outlet might be pushing a lot about it. But there will be a time when they become part of our life, just like the Facebook, just like this artificial intelligence. They become part of our
Yes.
life now.
Yeah, yeah. Very interesting question. If only I had an answer. The NFTs are like in this is my prediction, investment advice. My prediction is that the NFTs are a lot closer to adoption or mass adoption than metaverses, because metaverse has lots of limitations, because a lot of good metaverse experiences require like VR headsets and all those things,
Mm,
which are
mm,
cumbersome and which are not convenient. So unless convenience comes, and even online to do things in a normal way or a centralized sort of a game way is much more fun than it is on metaverse still at this stage. So
mm,
metaverse is still quite far, whereas NFTs, just as NFTs themselves as just digital assets, they have so much more potential immediately, because you could have your own community just between Bharat and Sai, between two of you, that you give access to. If people have to hold your NFT, and only then they get access, and then once a month you'll even have a Zoom call with them, have a catch up with them, mentor them,
mm.
whatever it might be, and you just sell 10 NFTs or give them away to your key community members for free, and just start interacting in that way. And
Wow.
people can sell them on OpenSea or wherever they want, and over time, if you're providing value, those should go up in value, and you can get ongoing commission from their sales
Now,
and trading and
now,
stuff.
have you created an NFT for yourself?
I have, but I haven't been doing anything with it. I have been
Okay.
just giving access to. So I have some very interesting people in my sort of Discord,
Proximity.
on the Web3 Discord and stuff. The company I work for, Moonstream, that is one of the things we do. Is we have a system where people can create airdrops for their NFT, or convert their sort of Web2 game into a Web3 game by connecting with our platform and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Wonderful.
think that's a perfect segue. One of the questions I was planning to
Yes.
ask was, being a chief strategist at or for Moonstream.2,
Yes.
and you spend a lot of time working there. How would someone, or how can someone be part of it if they want to see a career within the gaming area, gaming life?
Yes.
What is your insights or advice in that field? Yeah.
Yeah, sure. With Moonstream, what we do is we provide like a gaming engine. So say you
Mm,
have Web2 game and you want to create some characters, into convert them into an NFT, then you can use our engine. Or you want to reward some of your audience by doing an airdrop, you can upload a list like a spreadsheet onto our sort of platform and reward those people that you want to, yeah, reward with an airdrop of your NFT. You still have to create the front end, but in the
mm,
back end you can use our Web3 engine. So that's where, if you want to just learn, you want to just connect, feel free to join our Discord for Moonstream, which is on moonstream.to. You can find the details. Or if you
awesome.
have a Web2 project and you want to do, say, loot boxes or something for your game or your community, then you can just use our product. It's an open source product. You can check it out. Regarding your question about how should someone get connected in the gaming ecosystem, and that is become a part of, so there are lots of guilds. There are, every Web3 game has a
Mm,
Discord server. On their website, you will find their Discord server. The
mm.
game that you like, or the look of the game that you like, join the Discord server, find out if you can help out there in some way, and then see, you'll probably get absorbed in that game and by their team, because so many of these teams are hiring at the moment. They're still hiring, even though there is a slight sort of a downturn.
Awesome. No, love it. And yeah, I think a lot of golden nuggets there for our audience whoever is going to start their career, or they are planning to switch their career within the Web 3.0 arena. This will be a wonderful episode for them to watch. And I wanted to talk one more important thing, which was the book. The
Yes.
book you wrote, the 30-day startup, which is a bestseller on Amazon. What is it all about, and how it can elevate someone's personal life with respect to business? Because if they're planning to start a business and a startup,
Sure.
which is what it talks about.
Yeah, sure. 30-day startup is about building a tech startup or getting your idea out there in 30 days. It does not mean that you finish in 30 days. It just means
Yes.
you get started in 30 days, because so many people think about their idea and sit on it for years sometimes and
Mhm.
don't get started. And so it is showing to people that you can get started really fast. You don't have to wait, and you don't need a lot of money. And it has examples and stories from the business world on how people got started with just an idea, with very little money or no money at all, and who have built multi-billion dollar businesses. Whether it's like DoorDash, where there were students in
Right.
university, and then they would just drop out leaflets of that, if you want food, let us know, and then their phone or will ring, or they'll get an email, and they'll just run out there in an old car and buy the buy the
Cool.
burger and drop it at someone's house. And that's how they started, and that's how they ran for first quite a few months, that they were just running orders
Mm.
themselves. No website, nothing initially, and then later on just a web page kind of a thing. Same thing if you look at the first version of Airbnb. They started with 3 air mattresses and 3 sort of 2 or 3 upstairs room a thing, and then just go from there. You don't need a lot of capital so many times to start something. You can start with,
An idea.
in the tech world, you can start with nearly no capital. And sometimes it might feel like the project will need a lot of capital to build. You can build an example of the experience, like just in a like a GIF image or a GIF image or a
Mhm,
video or
mhm.
something, that this is how it would be like. Get pre-signups, get pre-registrations, get funding based on the interest that people are showing in it and stuff. That's what Dropbox did, that they just had like a video of how it would all work, because the solution is quite technical and it would take a lot of resource to build. So there are ways around it. And because it's called 30-day startup, we wrote the book in 30
Mm.
days. Just to
Wow.
stay true to the mission, to show that you can do things within 30 days. If you do focused effort on one thing, that it can be done. It might not be perfect, and that is fine. Go and look at the first website of Amazon, or first website
Absolutely.
of Airbnb, or any of those, and you'll see how it all looked like, or Salesforce even.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I agree with
Yeah.
that. I agree with it. Now, with that, let me ask you one question that most of the people,
Yes.
whether they're in from IT or from non-IT, everyone worried
Yes.
about. Looking at the amount of media, they
Yes.
might start thinking, "Oh my God, what is going to happen? Am I going to be relevant in the next 5 years?" Because I see this either from
Yes.
physicians, from IT people, from non-IT people, from real estate people, from everyone, like even the finance people worried about, is it going to be the career going to be the safe? Am I going to be safe for the next 10 years? Am I going to retire? Will I have enough money with the lot of disruptions happening? From
It
what you have
is.
seen, what you have
Yes.
presented from the conferences, do you think the world is going to collapse, or is it going to be like the world is going to flourish even more with the opportunities?
It is so hard to tell at the moment. I used to always say that the world is going to flourish and all that, always like an eternal optimistic. But because of everything that is happening with the economical uncertainty, I'm sure there also, it's like people have all around the world, people have a much more sort of a negative outlook, and that negative outlook feeds into itself. Everyone talks negatively, then everyone keeps getting that. So I'll give the solution. I might not give the prediction, but the solution on, what one thing you can do to prepare yourself is learn how to flourish in a decentralized world. Just what both of you are doing. Like, you're building this podcast, and that is a perfect example. You didn't need permission from a recording studio. Like back in the days, you had to go through a recording studio or something, and then if the recording studio closes down, HMV or there were quite a few of those ones, big ones, then you are in trouble. Then your destiny is not in your own hands. And that is why a lot of people like Web3 and decentralization, because you don't need permission from anyone. You can just go and build things. And if you want to raise money, you create your own token and give people a stake in your own company using that way. You don't have to do an IPO using a lot of paperwork and go through all that regulation and stuff. And then if the regulations changes, like how you were saying, you are in trouble. So think of it like, I know there are lawyers who are wanted in the metaverse space because there is land transactions being going on. Who's going to do the paperwork for that? I know that there are real estate agents wanted in the metaverse space. There's so much, like billions of dollars of real estate is being sold in the metaverse, and we will need only more and more of those sort of people. So any industry, you look at how decentralization can affect it and how you can be independent of regulation change, of market change, or not reliant on other people. So that is one thing I would look. That is one way to make yourself future proof.
That's
Absolutely.
like the
Absolutely.
best key takeaway for sure for our audience, because that kind of summarizes everything, that every career is going to eventually fall together, connect together, and work together, support together, is what the idea is. A really powerful statement at the end, for sure.
Yes. Thank you, Sam. I think this is one of those, I think for the audience, especially, the golden nuggets that Sam is giving are really the opener. This is probably, we just scratched the surface today. We did not even go into one specific topic. We just went in all different directions with the wealth of knowledge that Sam has, and probably he lives up to his name called strategist. Like he reminds me of the James Bond movie where there will be one guy in the field, the other guy would be in the office. The office is the one they call it as a strategist. So you are one of that.
Yes, I do. Look, it's absolutely wonderful talking with both of you. And seeing how you guys have so much passion for technology, for what's coming up in future, and being at the forefront of it. So it's really good to see that.
No, absolutely. And I know we have only completely talked about technology today, but I see some of the paintings behind you. Is that something you do?
Yeah, I do oil painting and stuff.
Is that part of NFT project?
No, it's not at all. These are all made like years ago. Some of these I've got so many. I haven't done it last 4 years now. Just have been too busy, but I used to do a lot of oil painting and stuff.
Yeah, I definitely wanted to ask more questions. Sorry.
Maybe your next generation would make them as an NFT.
Yeah, I know.
As part of a legacy for Sam.
I know. Yeah, I've always done art, just not recently because it's just too busy. But yeah, go ahead. You were saying something about it.
Yeah, so I was just saying, we didn't touch a lot of personal aspects today, but we would love to see if there is another opportunity we could get where we want to know, what are you doing personally within your life? How is your daily routine? What you do with respect to your career and few other aspects. I know we are running out of time, and we are grateful for whatever we learned today. I'm sure this is one of the best out there, and everyone will love what they are going to add the value to their personal life from this. I just want to make sure, audience, please ask more questions so that we can bring Sam back. And there is a lot that we could learn from this particular expert who's really good at what he's doing. And also there is a purpose-driven idea behind what he's working on. Yeah, please do let us know with all the questions, what you want to ask, and we will make sure that Sam is going to come back with us. So
now, Sam, if someone wants to reach out to you, because you are a real strategist and an expert in the Web 3.0 and a real predictor of what is the future is going to shape towards to, if someone want to reach out to you, how can they reach out to you?
Oh, just look for me on LinkedIn. But yeah, samkamani.sam, Kamani, samkamani.com. And you can put it in the description, or you can reach out to me on LinkedIn or Twitter. My DMs are always open. LinkedIn is one of the things that I do most often. I check most often. So
that's where I connected for sure. I know we were part of one of the Mastermind Live event. You were presenting to us, but I took the opportunity on LinkedIn to connect with you. So that's, I think, definitely the
Yes.
best place for sure. And yeah, we will put everything in the description for our audience so that they can reach out to you if they have questions. If not, they can definitely reach out to us and we will be happy to connect them to you. And with that, we are extremely grateful for this episode, Sam. I cannot express in words how much it means to us with respect to what you added a lot of value today. And we want to express a lot of gratitude to you. So,
Yeah. Thank you so much, Sam, for taking time and joining us from New Zealand.
No, it's been fantastic. Thank you so much for your time, and look forward to connecting again.
Yeah. Thank you
absolutely.
so much.
I'll
With
just
that,